T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, welcome back to tonight's show. I'm honored to have you. I hope you pull up a chair, get you something to drink, and let's get it going. Hey, again, welcome back. I'm your host, Big John. This is the Real Talk Show, and tonight we're going to be talking about churches and the direction that the churches are heading in. So I'm sure when you're out and about and you're driving around, you're starting to see more and more churches pop up everywhere, and that could be good and that can be bad. And, the Bible calls for us to go and bring the church to the people, and what people don't understand is you have to be real careful with the churches that you go to, and you have to be real careful with what's being preached at these churches. These churches these modern churches, they're getting to where in my opinion, they're starting to walk away from the Bible. They're starting to water down the Bible and make the Bible less scary, simply because they're trying to attract certain crowds to church. They want the crowds that are just there to show up and look good and drop some money in the offering plate and roll out. And that's what we have to be careful with. You've only got one religion. You got Christianity and you've got religion. And unfortunately, religion and religious churches have turned into a business, plain and simple. They are motivational speakers that have been trained and taught on how to get certain people in there with the right kind of money to keep the lights on. And that's what we really have to be careful with. The old school church, the old school preachers, the old school deacons, they're far and few between anymore. And it's a shame, because what's being taught in these churches today, it's wrong. It's watered down. It's not from the Bible. It's not from the Lord. It's stuff that they have taken here and taken there, and they have added to, and they're just trying to keep the right people in there, like I said. And some of the stuff that's just really is bothering me, and some of the stuff that I've noticed here lately is, especially with the children, it seems like there's youth pastors and youth groups out there that are starting to mold these children, and just like they're doing in schools, just like they're doing everywhere else. And now it's in the churches. And actually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to play a little clip for you and let you kind of hear from yourself. This is a gay pastor and a drag queen that are talking to some children at a church.
From Miss Pentecost?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you like her eyeshadow. That's great. Yeah. Maybe she'll let you borrow it when you're older, when you're allowed to wear makeup. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Well, one of the things I think is great about Miss Pentecost is she reminds us that we follow a God who calls us to not conform to things of this world, that we're supposed to be transformed by the renewal of our minds. And that means that what I think today may have to change tomorrow if I continue to renew my mind. And it's so cool that we serve a God that calls us to continue to grow and continue to change into something new. And to not be bound by the ways that the world confines us sometimes, that we're supposed to live differently.
So let me see if I get this straight. So this child is not old enough to get makeup, but this child is old enough to sit on the stage and be groomed by a pedophile. You call it, they call them drag queens. I call them pedophiles. Same thing. Really, this is nothing more than our children are being groomed, and that's it. You can call it like it is. You can take the makeup off. You can try to justify it. These kids are 100% being groomed for the new world that is unfolding in front of us. And if you don't believe me, I have another little clip real quick I want to share with you.
What in the hell has a drag queen ever done to make you have so much respect for them and admire them so much? Other than put on makeup and jump on the floor and writhe around and do sexual things on stage. I have absolutely no idea why you would want that to influence your child. Would you want a stripper or a porn star to influence your child? It makes no sense at all. A drag queen performs in a nightclub for adults. There is a lot of filth that goes on, a lot of sexual stuff that goes on. We have already had a reputation of being pedophiles and being perverts and deviants. We don't need you to bring your children around. So you keep your kids at home, or take them to Disneyland, or take them to Chuck E. Cheese.
Preach!
So, like they said, why would we want this at church? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that everybody needs to come to church. You can come to church as you are, no matter how you're dressed. And these people need to come to church just as much as anybody, whether they're doing this as they're putting on an act or if they have a mental illness that's making them do this. At the end of the day, they need to come to church. They're more than welcome to church. We, as the body of Christ, we do not need them at church molding our children and teaching our children their ways. They need to be coming to church to search their soul, to find out if they're going to follow Christ or if they're going to continue their sinful life. You know, in some ways, these people, they are no different than anybody else that we know or that we talk to. And at the end of the day, we all have a choice whether to come to know Christ, come to know the Lord, or to stay where we're at and continue our sinful path. You know, at the end of the day, we need to get back to the old church. We need to get back to salvation. We need to get back to grace and walking in the light of the Lord and being as close to Him as we can possibly get and getting to know Him as good as we can possibly get, because we have a new world in front of us, and the new world that's in front of us, it doesn't want Christ. It doesn't want the church. It is wanting to erase Christianity from this planet. You know, if we allow this, if we allow Christianity to be erased, just like cursive writing, you know, this generation, some of them don't know how to write in cursive. And so the same thing with Christianity. If we end up losing this and allowing this to be lost and not continuing to speak the gospel and speak the truth, you know, we as people, we as Christians, we have got to get back to loving on one another. I think in my heart, you know, I believe that this is the one of the biggest problems that we face right now, is that there's no love anywhere. Everywhere you turn, there's nothing but hate, and I think that's where the world started going south. Is you know, we no longer love each other. We have gotten to a point and to a place where there is nothing but hatred, and it has now trickle down to our children, trickle down to our schools, and when is enough? So that's my thoughts for this evening, folks. I would love to hear from you, hear from your opinions. You can catch me on any of the social media outlets. I'm also on YouTube. You could email me or message me. So I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed Sunday. I hope y'all have a blessed week. And I hope to see y'all next Sunday for the next show.